tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Rudol's Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the WZ-113G GFT. This is the Tier 10 Chinese Tech Tree Tank Destroyer, a vehicle that is one of the least popular lines in Blitz, which has always been a bit of a shame for me personally, because, like today alone, I streamed the entire line, talked about the Tier 9, 8, 7, 6, all of the tanks are fantastic. The 7 is definitely a bit loopy with its accuracy, but the whole line in general is absolutely amazing, especially once you get up to the Tier 8, 9, and especially 10. This vehicle features great frontal armor. Wargaming has buffed this tank to a point where now its frontal armor is good enough to shrug off most premium shells, especially if you're running rammer on your heavies. It'll bounce really any mediums. It has good DPM, just shy of 3,000 with Kali, which is what I'm running. Decent accuracy. It's got pretty average statistics for the gun, but it's still good enough to get the job done, and it hits like a truck. The thing I will say is that I don't like the shell velocity on this vehicle. I might actually even be tempted to run Supercharger. The shell velocity is maybe about 800, I would say, which is kind of mid, which you wouldn't expect from a vehicle like this. Now, traverse speed-wise is great, super mobile, and it's also not a very large tank. While it does have very large sides and surface area to shoot at, I mean, it's a big old box, it's not huge on its actual size in general, which means that it actually has decent camo value. So what we're going to do is make our way right over to this bush and see what we can do. Now, as always, whenever I make a video on this tank, I try to convince people to go down this line because it really is a line that nobody thinks about, but yet really should. It's just such a nice tank in so many different aspects. So, in the beginning, I'm going to play passive. This is a tank that you don't want to play super aggressive until you know you can. It can play aggressive, don't get me wrong. It's got good enough armor to get the job done in a lot of places, especially hull down, but you don't want to bleed early game. You want to save those hit points till later and then use them. So we can see that the Progetto has put himself in maybe an easy shot here. Oh yeah, there you go. Nice shot, 711 damage into the prog. And with that, I don't think that player enjoyed that all too much, I've got to be completely honest. Now, unfortunately, our 5A is, he's losing quite miserably to that Super Conk up there, and our 50B is also getting pooped on. So that's not good news. But we're going to see what we can do. We got the 57 heavy off to the side, aiming and poob. There you go. Nice 565 slap. And with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get behind the enemy here if I can, especially because the Minotauro has such poor traverse speed. I really should just be able to get behind this guy. And oh, that was a nasty, nasty shot. It shows you just where, you know, I think this right here, oh, well, that works too. I was going to ram him, but then he decided to ram the Yag, which was just as easy of a situation for us. So the Super Conk's in the back, and I would go for the Super Conk, but with the TVP right there, nah, that's a bad idea. We're going to push up and see if I can get some shells into the TVP instead. Maybe deal with the 183. Looks like the Super Conker is going to get cleared anyway. So here we are, and one fun fact about the TVP is you can actually HE its lower plate. So what we're going to do is wait for it to back up. And come on. There you go. You notice I waited for it to back up, and then I fired the HE. And with that, we dealt 1,034 damage. Oh, man. I don't feel even slightly bad for that TVP, because as we all know, right now the TVP is one of the most just poobish tanks on the battlefield. So there you go. Easy shot into the 183. And with that, a fantastic battle, really. I mean, we've dealt 4,000 damage, easily showcased where the 113 GFT is just such a stomper. I mean, its gun is great. Now, the chances of us hitting that were, yeah, slim to none. But we're going to use the good mobility the tank has. Even with the dead driver, you can see as long as we stay in a straight line, we can get up to our top speed. I think it goes like 38 kilometers per hour. Now, to be fair, we are in the possibility of being one-shot by this Yag. But I'm not too worried. I think, oh yeah, now I'm not worried at all. And even though our driver's dead, it should still be enough traverse to just, boop, there you go. 687 into the Yag. And there you have it. A very, very easy first victory for this vehicle. And, yeah, just such a nice vehicle. As you can see, it does great pushing in. It does great overall. And, yeah, 4,663 damage dealt in our first battle. Mastery as well. There you have it. So, pretty good game. However, the Tier 10 is not the only great vehicle on this line, and now we're going to take a look at the Tier 9, the WZ-113G. This is a super duper duper strong vehicle. I also said the name wrong. This is the one without the 1. The Tier 8 is the 111-1GFT. This is the 111GFT. I don't know why Wargaming made the names so similar, but this vehicle is based off the hull armor of a WZ-111, and the Tier 10 is obviously based off the hull armor of a WZ-113. This tank's a little bit slower. You can see its top speed is 34, but it has the same penetration values as the Tier 10. It also has the same alpha, which means that, oh my god, do you hit hard. And I should also point out that this tank has really good armor. It's a bit smaller of a profile, which means that when you're in position, you don't feel as large as the Tier 10. However, it's still just as big, I would say. So, there you go. Very easy HE into the Leopard. With that, 2 shots, 1,578 damage. But we're not done yet. We got the 62A and the Sheridan. Okay, well, obviously I'm going to go for the 62A. I mean, the Sheridan's got 50 health. Why would I shoot the Sheridan? So, boom! Oh, we kind of missed the back plate of him there and hit, it seems like, the track wheel, which kind of sucks. And now I'm in a bit of an awkward situation where I don't really have the reload to shoot either of these guys, but seems like they don't have the reload to shoot me either. Okay, well, at this point, we got the Badger left, the IS-4, Conway, and an Object 752. Okay, well, obviously I'm going to capture base A. That's just a known because their team has higher base cap right now, so I'm going to make sure I capture the base. Then I'm going to start making my way towards the enemy. Now, we got the IS-4 in front, and I mean, you can just see how much pen this vehicle has. It butters through a vehicle like the IS-4 frontally. So with that, we're up to 2,500. Okay, so not too bad so far. The grill is going to hopefully get a nice pen. He does, okay. Grill pens, the IS-4 as well. You can see where the poor DPM on this tank does feel a little bit sluggish, but when you're able to outtrade, I mean, even a tank like that Badger, it does feel really nice. So now the Grill gets a nice shot, and we're over 3,000 damage ourselves, and the Badger, which is by far the scariest tank on their team, is now a one-shot. Unfortunately, the Grill didn't really think that through and just kind of drove out and died, but we do get a nice pendant to the Badger, evening out the trade. So we have 1,100 health. The IS-4 has 1,200 health. We both have about the same DPM. However, I do have a higher alpha, and I have my adrenaline on, which means my DPM right now is a bit higher. I pen my first shell on him. Obviously, I can just butter through his tank, and he bounces his shell on me. So we're up to 4,000 damage dealt now. Just making sure this IS-4 has a tricky time penning me. He loads heat, pens the next shell. He's dealt 353 on that, and we still have enough health to take 2 more shots from his vehicle, the second one killing us. So we pen that shot. Now, again, you're going to watch me wiggle, try and get that mantlet to eat the shot, and beautiful, we do. With that, the IS-4 is now at 230 health, and we are loading in another heat, my final heat shell to be exact. So that's exactly what we're going to do, is butter the heat right into the corner plate of his tank, and we're up to 4,800. All that's left is the Conway, and speeb, 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 speeb. I'll stop. But let's go, let's just go poop on the Conway real quick. We're out of heat, but we don't need heat for this guy. We got an HE shell with your name written on it, and oof. That's the end of you. 5,650 damage dealt, and that is a fantastic battle to showcase what the WZ-111 GFT can do. It's a super fun vehicle, and it's a great tank. I mean, the whole line is fantastic. Today alone, I averaged, statistically, with the whole line, I think high 80s%. So, yeah, I can't really complain. If you want to see a more in-depth playstyle of the tank, make sure to check out the live stream. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.